let's talk about some Stronghold. So this is straight from CMC. You do see that Stronghold is doing pretty decent for the day, right? 0.004331. Some things I do want to point out in regards to Stronghold is that its all-time highs were slightly below 6 cents on May 16, 2021, right? The last bull market 3 years ago. And as far as the low, they don't have the data about that, but maybe we could find that out. Maybe around 0001, something like that from what I see so far. All right. So, I mean, if anything, still great buying opportunities, right? Basically, it's been up 64% from its all time. That's not bad. You know what I mean? All right. So, basically speaking, do we have any more information straight from CMC? We do have a little bit. So, if you're wondering what the total supply is, it's not far from the max, right? But basically, you have a maximum of 100 billion SHX, which is the token. This is built on or part of the Stellar ecosystem, built on Stellar, right? They do have this contract with Ethereum, but I think that's the original one. But from what I saw, it's built on Stellar. And currently speaking, it's ranked 695. It does have confirmed market cap of a little over 25 million, give or take. You're more than welcome to look more into the tokenomics about this and so on. I would encourage it. This is just something I want to briefly get into because, again, this is not going to be like an hour deep dive about Stronghold. But if you're wondering what their mission is, like it says, it is to basically provide fast, secure, and accessible financial services for all through their developer APIs. You can enable or you can have access, I should say, to next generation payment and financial services. The SHX Stronghold's currency is used for real-time settlement, discount, and fees for business customers, rewards, and merchant cash advances throughout decentralized finance. Now, the part where it says rewards, I did find out a little bit more information about who specifically are part of those awards. I even had a little segment from Sean Bennett that I'm going to get into. But yeah, let's take you to the site for just a moment. No, we're not going to get into the white paper or anything like that. Again, part of, DYOR is also to do just that, some of your own research, right? But like it says, most token store value, SHX creates it. Stronghold's expanding payments ecosystem uses the token of SHX to build block with real world purpose. And I like this part also because it does confirm if it's built on Stellar. SHX is built on Stellar Network, one of the most energy efficient blockchain networks using Stellar's consensus protocol, a low energy consensus mechanism achieved through a proof of agreement, which is called POA. SHX saves energy with each transaction. Of course, you can learn more. I didn't want to get to every little thing that was posted here, but you do see that you can hold it on secure wallets. I of course have a Ledger. I also have the Decent wallet. I like what you see here. Some of you guys like Tim Shea use Lobster wallet as well, so that's on there as well. That's very cool to see that. They do have a loyalty rewards program, like I mentioned before. Like it says, liquidity for DeFi. So there's a lot of stuff to get into. Play a role in Stronghold's governance. Like some of you guys are into other projects that talk about some of these things. So again, look more into the website if you choose to do so. But I did want to give you guys this. So it says, for instance, CTO and co-founder, who is Sean Bennett, right? He shared his thoughts on DeFi and traditional banking. What are some of your thoughts? It says this is a quick little snippet. I thought it was cool to share this. Want to get into this with you guys. But yeah, let's go ahead and play this as well. And it's only about 33 seconds. Here we go.
I was very skeptical of DeFi when I first saw it, but I have absolutely changed my opinion on it. I think that DeFi is here to stay long term, but I also think that the traditional institutions are also here to stay long term as well. I think what it comes down to is the use case for what you're looking at. So some use cases are naturally going to fit the decentralized space, and others are still going to want the perceived security or real security of being able to interact with the traditional banking sector and payment system. So it very much depends on who you're working with. All
right, now let me show you, of course, a little bit more about that. So let's pull this up because we're not going to just end it with that. But basically speaking, Let's share this. All right, this is cool. This gets into some things that I've talked about in the past, even from the old channel, right, that I'm no longer with. But some things are very familiar here, right? So Stronghold has confirmed that top Silicon Valley VC firms, let me just see if I'm okay on the frame. I am. Top Silicon Valley VC firms earn, yes, the SHX token via Aduro's rewards program, and this includes Craft Ventures, who invested in, and I share this with you. So you do see quite a few of these, and basically, I mean, come on, guys. There's some big names that are here. I know about Motley Fool, you know, not Motley Crue, but Motley Fool. You have, for instance, what is this other one? Plex Capital. I do know about them. Silicon Valley Data Capital. So some of these names, let's pull it up to the next one. But obviously, this one really stands out. SpaceX. Who doesn't know about SpaceX? So to see some of that is very bullish, right? At least I think so. And to pull up more about this, 5 hours ago, I remember doing a video about this, right? I think I did it like roughly March of last year. But this guy, shout out to him, Plea Des X. He says he's not definitively saying what blockchain will be used for X payments, but he's trying to connect some dots here, right? We're always connecting the dots. All speculation, fair enough. But he has SHX, Stellar, XRP, of course, you know, tagged here. He says working on a bigger map of this to include some additional connections that he has found. Now, I do remember doing a video about this, about, you know, Jed McCaleb and, you know, the whole thing of, you know, Jed McCaleb is also part of Vast. And then is there going to be that, you know, whole connection with Elon Musk, SpaceX because of Vast? And the answer was, I think so, right? You know, Vast was partnering with SpaceX, and that was confirmed last year. Like I said, Stellar and the X platform, interesting. It says, you know, for instance, Elon Musk down to X payments, half of the global financial system. Remember when, you know, Elon Musk basically said, you know, will that be something in the future? I don't know how many years down the road. I can't remember if, you know, Elon Musk says specifically like when that would be. I don't think that matters, but basically he did mention that wouldn't it be something if you saw the X platform, formerly known as Twitter, taking half the global financial system with it. Who would be the bigger player that would be part of the mix? And then look what it says when it kicks over to the left. What blockchain could be used? So, you know, some of you guys are going to be rooting for whatever one that is, right? I get it. But, you know, maybe it's not just one, maybe it's a few, but I don't know. Say what you want. Jed McCaleb through Vast already has that connection. And of course, Stellar, you know, you guys know. I don't need to talk more about it, right? So there's that. Getting more into this as well. This is also good. Let's pull this up as well. Fascinating clip with Stronghold. Hold on, let me double check something. Yep, I'm good. SHX CEO mentioned all in one clip. Listen to this for a second, because, you know, like even with BSV, we know how great that thing is that they got going on with IBM. But IBM, I think, picks solid projects with utility. So it's not just BSV, it's also like IBM is Stellar. And some people have criticized, like, hey, you know, the IBM Stellar partnership is not solid. It went away. No, it's still as solid as ever, right? So NDAs, like it says, working with other large enterprises and governments. Remember I mentioned the whole thing again about Stellar and the U.S. government. So again, I say what you want. I just love tying in things, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn because I'm a humble person, but your takeaway should be history, the government. Where is this all going, right? What are your thoughts? Yes, what are your thoughts? I want to hear about it in the comments if you choose to leave it, whether it's on the live or on the recorded video later on. But it did look like a strong hint to this particular person, and I reviewed this earlier, and I would agree. This play for you guys is under 2 minutes. Honestly, Let me know what you think in regards to this. I think this is pretty cool. If it's a little bit too loud, turn down. Let me see. Hold on a second.
This comes to us.
I don't think that's too loud, but turn it as a tad. All right, here we go.
This comes to us from Hans Loaded. He says, Tammy, what other world-renowned ubiquitous brands like IBM do you envision Stronghold to work with in the long term?
Oh, Lord.
I know it's a loaded question, but it's from Hans Loaded. That's his name on that's his name on Twitter. So it's going to be a loaded question. You kind of expect that.
Hans Loaded, thank you so much for the question. Now, if I was, if we are continuing to work with large enterprises, which we will continue to do. Now, do you think that they would allow us to talk about that here?
No, we will not. I still asked the question. I wasn't asking it. I was simply relaying it. But we know that you have NDAs signed, and much just like anybody, unless they wanted you to know, you would do a joint press release and you would publish it to the world. But
the sky is the limit, right?
We know about IBM, and that's key, right? And IBM is they're a massive player in the space. So
yeah, I think it's really amazing to see how many people have evolved. I mean that's not even the right question. It's like, okay, you have like major enterprises, but then you also have governments.
Oh, right on. Yeah. That's right. That's right. You sure do have the governments.
Which governments can you reference?
How
many letters are in the name of the government?
What continent do they reside on? Is there a continent that they're, I mean, is it like the North American continent, the South American continent? I mean, do we go big and say it's planet Earth someplace, or
what's their form of government?
Oh, right, there you go. Yeah, let's do it by process of elimination.
See what I'm saying, guys? They know. It's already there. They just can't confirm it. They can't say it. So there's that. Obviously got more about this. Let me close out some more tabs real quick. I want to definitely get into this next part. This part's also really good. So let's pull this up. And this is another recent one. This is yesterday, right? So what is this? It states the position of SHX director of crypto markets was filled last year. I wonder what they have planned for 2024. Obviously, we're into 2024. But I want to share this with you guys. This is good stuff from crypto banker SHX. Research is key to understanding the direction a company is going. Hence why we always do DYOR, right? This is an open position for SHX, director of crypto markets. Looking at the role description, the main focus is growing SHX liquidity and institutional adoption through Stronghold's enterprise-grade tech. And what's highlighted? Well, we'll show that here in a bit. But Stronghold, Director of Crypto Markets, SHX, San Francisco, California, crypto full-time hybrid. But here's the highlights about this specific role. The Director of Crypto Markets, SHX, will have a deep understanding of market structure, clearing, settlement, prime brokerage, and custody. This leader will take the knowledge and apply it to the development of SHX. And on the highlight, it states basically that they expect this leader to have a large network and stellar reputation with traditional market participants. The person also needs to be able to work in a distributed team and have the ability to think creatively through how markets need to adapt to support potentially paradigm shifting tech. Here's another part. What would that person do? Well, they're going to work closely with the markets team to help guide company strategy for enterprise-grade infrastructure. Remember last week we talked about all these enterprise-grade infrastructures, right? We assured that BSV segment, which the gentleman talked specifically about enterprise-grade. There was even one from Hedera, right? The new governing council president was talking about enterprise. But on this one, it says, this person will work closely with the markets team to help guide company strategy. I already read this. Sorry. Infrastructure solutions to attract and broaden SHX market ecosystem. Bottom part, explore new innovative ways to partner with existing market participants, accelerate SHX liquidity growth, because that's what every crypto project wants, right? help develop crypto and traditional markets infrastructure for SHX. And of course, there's a whole grocery list here. But a deep understanding of market infrastructure and liquidity landscape, familiarity with the cryptocurrency liquidity ecosystem. So that's good. Nice sharing that. I like that. I think I need to retweet that. That's pretty good stuff. I'll give this guy a follow. Good info. Last part. All right. Before I give you guys my own little notes. So this is cool. I'm going to full screen this one, actually. Let me come out of the frame for a second. So this one, I like this. This really caught my attention because some of us don't have Stronghold. Some of us maybe have Stellar, but we don't have Ripple XRP. And there's some of us that hold all this, but maybe not SHX, right? Or you do hold all three. It says there's only one project backed by Stellar and Ripple, and that's SHX. That is worth pointing out. So I'm going to play this for you guys. Only 40 seconds. Let's hear what is mentioned here. Here we go.
And a little on the ecosystem. Most of you are probably aware of these partnerships that we have. Of course, IBM being a key one for us, and we continue to be a vendor of them for providing technology services. We also provided financial services in the form of Blockchain WorldWire, which was, I think, 2019 to 2021. Spring at Ripple and Stellar remain, strong connections for us. Some strategic investors, Ripple did invest in us a couple of years ago, really solidifying the bond that we had with them. So that was really nice of them to be able to do that.
Okay, so I'm share just a little bit more with you guys. It's not a visual, but I definitely want to give you guys some notes in regards to this. So, a big request, obviously, to talk about Stronghold, and rightfully so. Glad to finally bring it to you guys. But one of the main things I wanted to talk to you guys about in conclusion to wrap things up for this whole thing with Stronghold is, that last part that stood out. One project backed by both Ripple and Stellar is that Stronghold. I thought to myself, that can't be. Is it really only one? I mean, sometimes people on Twitter, X, they post things, but I don't know. Is that really the truth? Well, why is that significant? And if anything, why did IBM choose to partner, of course, with Stronghold, right? Legitimate questions. Well, basically, it's like this. The statement of Stronghold being the quote-unquote only project backed by both Ripple and Stellar is partially true. Hear me out. While it's certainly unique in having received support for both major blockchain projects, as in Ripple XRP and of course Stellar, you got to keep in mind it's not the singular project that is in position. Both Ripple and even Stellar have, of course, as we know, collaborated with entities in various different capacities, other projects, yada yada, right? However, when it comes to Stronghold's association with both Ripple and Stellar, it is indeed significant. And of course, there's a lot of different advantages by being, backed by both of those key players. So let's face it, a given is more exposure, more credibility. Backing from these two prominent blockchain leaders lends Stronghold increased legitimacy, visibility in the particular cryptocurrency landscape, the current one that we're in. It's going to attract more users, developers, potential partners. But I know you guys get maybe tired of the whole term of interoperability, but cross-chain interoperability, you're going to see this be leveraged by both Stellar and Ripple and their tech. Stronghold potentially facilitates seamless, low-cost transactions, I should say, between different blockchain networks. And of course, it helps open the whole thing of new possibilities for global payments and financial services. I mean, isn't that the whole point? Yeah, it is. What about having more access to diverse resources and so on? Well, with Stronghold collaborating, for instance, with both Ripple and Stellar, this allows Stronghold to tap into the respective tech, the talent, their market reach. I would agree with that. As the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. This can accelerate their development and provide valuable insights. And if anything, we're always looking for the low market cap gems out there. Say what you want. That is nice to be, have these great, huge allies, right? Now, in regards to the whole thing, in regards to IBM's partnership with Stronghold, I looked a little bit more about it. There are some key factors that stand out in regards to the partnership, and that is Stronghold's focus on financial services. And just listen to this for a second. So, for instance, IBM has strong investments in the financial technology sector, as we know. Stronghold solutions help provide a fast, reliable payments infrastructure that could basically be highly relevant for their existing offerings, like, for instance, with what IBM has got going on. SHX's utility, their potential, where could that go? Well, the native token, as in SHX, does play a critical role in Stronghold's ecosystem, as we know, but enables various functions like fee discounts. And back to the whole reference from earlier, those rewards, right? And also what is referred to as merchant financing. IBM might be interested in integrating SHX, for instance, into their financial solutions for quote unquote added value. That sounds bullish. What about shared vision for both IBM and Stronghold? Do we have a common, denominator, right? I hate to use that term, but yes, they both express a commitment in this collaboration to make a financial service offering accessible and even more efficient. Their partnership, as an IBM Stronghold, could advance a shared goal by reaching a broader audience and streamline just that, their financial processes. That's a win. Now, keep in mind, as far as the exact reasons and specifics of how it all came together, I don't have that information. But you do got to keep in mind that Stronghold, as we know, or I should say we recently found out, they aren't the only sole project supported course by Ripple and Stellar that is part of this space. But the dual backing is undoubtedly awesome. And I think, if anything, to have Stronghold, ride the coattails of both is awesome, but it's a pretty cool project in itself. And the visions of all three, Stellar, Ripple, and even Stronghold, does, align itself for those visions of potential benefits of integrating these respective technologies and, of course, the services. As the saying goes, it's a win all the way for all three. So, guys, I have a little bit more I want to share with you in conclusion to all this, and that is basically, the other remaining projects. Because, again, this guy, nothing against the guy, but, as far as it being exclusive, Stronghold is the only one backed by Ripple and Stellar. I was going to say, I look more into it, and basically speaking, these are the three that stood out as far as the contributors also getting backing. So you guys know me. I talk about not just Hyperledger, right? But there's Interledger protocol, right? So yes, Interledger, ILP, both Ripple and Stellar are significant contributors, of course, to that, the Interledger protocol, as we know. And that, of course, enables payments across different blockchain networks. I talked about this, even with the whole thing of what JASMY is trying to do for cross-border payments for finance democracy, right? So yeah, not a single project. ILP fosters collaboration between, of course, those two ecosystems. I mean, you got to point some of this out. There's one that's called Coil. I'm not really familiar with that. Some of you guys might be familiar with Coil, but it's a monetization platform for creators. It has, in fact, received backing from both Ripple X and Ripple's venture arms, and also the Stellar Development Foundation. Just like Stronghold, that one, Coil, does demonstrate interest from both sides in fostering innovation within the broader blockchain space. So that's worth pointing out. What's the third one? Well, the third one basically is blockchain for social good. Both Ripple and Stellar have supported initiatives using blockchain tech for social good, such as financial inclusion projects and disaster relief efforts, especially when it comes to Stellar, with Stellar Aid Assist. We already know about some of this stuff. While not specific projects, these collaborations showcase shared values and, of course, goals. I could get into the whole thing about community overlapping and technical similarities, but your key takeaway should be that while Stronghold does in fact stand out as a project directly backed by both Ripple and Stellar, it's not the only instance of collaboration, of course, like I mentioned, or connection between the two ecosystems. There are those other ones, which is ILP through Interledger and, of course, Coil. There might be other ones that pop up in the future, but if anything, we try to get right with the information, and I just thought I'd point that out. So it's not me trying to step on the toes of the other guy and so on, but I just thought I'd look more into it. That's what I gathered with my own research, right? Do your own research.